too need be voiced. Your mind speaks to us.
Welcome everyone to Kiss Meets the Podcast 4K, the crazy Kiss Countdown. I'm one of your hosts, Eli Clausen.
And I just watched the beginning of every single one of our podcasts earlier, and I counted 4 times that I actually said my own name in this section.
That's an award for this show, then. So, here it is. This is basically the wrap-up show for the, I guess, first leg, we could call it, of this whole adventure. So we're going to get to the final tallies of the awards. We have some little surprises. It's going to be surprises to me, I'll tell you guys that, because I have no clue. And then we're going to each kind of go through and give our final ranking of every album, least favorite to favorite, of course, and see what else happens. So, wow. I know I kind of blabbed enough about, this whole thing over the last week or so. Did you want to add anything to that as well?
Oh, not really. I think, I go through every episode of the 4Ks before each episode to look and see if there's any new comments on each video and everything. And even though I've done that every time, it wasn't until today, going back through all of them, that I started noticing the dates as I would scroll down. And it's like, man, this has been going on for a while. It doesn't feel like it. It feels like we still just started.
Yeah, it really does. I was going through the videos too, making sure I didn't miss out any on the albums that we did cover, and I ran across last year's Expo recap video, and it's like, here we are getting ready to do the Expo again, and another recap, and it's like, wow, I almost totally forgot that we did that video last year. And that was actually the last, I guess, regular episode that we've done along this whole thing, and that was episode 64 of, what was being counted as the, regular episodes of Kiss Meets the Podcast. So here we are almost a year later, and going to finally be doing another regular, version of the show here in about a week or so.
I don't even remember how to do it.
Right. Pretty cool though, man. But so yeah, once again, as we're filming this, the expo begins tomorrow, and really hoping that I accomplish getting this thing up before we leave to head that way tomorrow. That way, if any of you guys can catch this, we'll be at the expo while you watch this. And again, if you're at the expo watching this in your hotel or on the way to the expo, we'll be there. Come find us. Let's chat. We love talking to people. And as we covered last week, sometimes Luke throws food at people, but as long as he's fed well, he'll be under control.
That's true. Just fall the food away from me after I've had my fill, and smooth sailing. Absolutely.
All right, so I think we have a few comments from the last episode, Monster. We'll go ahead and cover those, and then get into the fun stuff. Well, it's all fun. Who am I complaining?
Yes. So we've got. Let's do Jay's comments last. We've got about 10 million comments from Jay Rucker. All of these comments are on the Monster episode from last week. So we've got a comment from Just Add Vinyl, which we haven't seen. We haven't seen Just Add Vinyl comment for a minute. There is another couple of videos, I think, earlier on.
That is Corey, good friend out of Columbus.
Yes, absolutely. So he says, this was an epic journey. Congratulations, guys, for bringing the main Discogs to completion. I learned quite a lot. For example, sell smashes, thrashes, and hits. Hate Double Platinum at first, but listened to it years later and love some of the tracks better. The Elder would be the most improved player if Kiss were a sport. Looking forward to what's next.
Nice.
Yes, very much so. We've also got Michael Groves' comments here. In the Why Him movie, Paul said in 1984 he was on the Creatures of the Night tour. So thank you for clarifying that. Yes.
God, of all things to get wrong, come on.
Right,
come on, Paul.
Not even close, man. Not even close. All right, so on to Jay Brucker's comments, and you guys, I definitely would recommend getting on this monster episode and checking out his comments. He left us a bunch of lists here. He did list a bunch of the albums that we have on our extras, the ones that we're intending to review coming up. He actually listed them in chronological order. So we've got a few more than what he's listed here, I think. But he did get most of them there, so that's a handy list there to check out.
Wow.
He also went ahead and rated the Chelsea album, so Jay is on it.
Good stuff, man.
I haven't even set up the projects for the ratings on those yet, so I will remember that that's on there. He's suggested that we do a top 25 Kiss songs, and then he's given us his. So, interestingly, his dead last 25, his 25th place was Easy As It Seems from Unmasked. His top 3, Mr. Speed from Rock and Roll Over, Cold Gin from Alive, and Deuce from Double Platinum.
Wow.
Yes.
The fact that Easy As It Seems is in their top 25 at all, I mean, that's pretty cool right there. I mean,
absolutely,
you know, when you look at the whole catalog and that song makes it, that's pretty cool, man.
Absolutely. And you've made us both very happy, Jay, that Fits Like a Glove is also on that list.
Absolutely. Finally, a little bit of justice.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, I'm up for doing a top 25 songs. That's going to be near impossible to do, of course, but I'm up for it.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Yep, he also gave us his worst to best Kiss albums, so I'm going to need to remember to put that in my project. But his dead last place on that is Carnival of Souls, which, unsurprising if you remember how he rated that one. True. I do believe, other than his uncle giving The Elder a 0.5 out of 10, I'm pretty sure Jay's ranking of Carnival of Souls is the lowest ranking anybody gave any album. And then his top, let's go top 5. Why not? Make sure I've highlighted the correct ones. Yes, his top 5 albums from 5th place to 1st place: Hotter Than Hell, Kiss, the first album, Creatures of the Night, Alive, and Rock and Roll Over.
I can agree with that.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, if you guys want to see his full lists, you can jump up to that monster video that he's got them all on there, and they're interesting stuff.
Yeah, and again, I really, really urge everyone, jump ahead, listen to that Chelsea album. I mean, it is really good stuff. I'm giving you my, yes, creme de la creme. And by the way, this is not a white power sign. That's okay.
Yeah. Spoiler warning, Jay did not rate it very high.
Well, you know, I mean, it's obviously very different, so.
Yeah, that it is.
And again, that's going to be another interesting thing with a lot of this stuff is how people are going to take it. You know, it's, trust me, there's some things just looking on the list that I'm already kind of like, oh God, we got to listen to the 3 Michael Bolton albums. Yeah. But you know what? It's all for the love, and there may end up being something on there that I like that, who knows? We'll see. Right.
Looking forward to sort of being forced to listen to that. Be stuff that I never would have listened to, and also stuff that I've always wanted to listen to but just didn't.
Right.
Like all of the Ace stuff, the Vinnie Vincent Invasion stuff. You know, this is going to kind of force me to carve out a point in my week to sit and listen. You know?
Absolutely. And like, you know, I mentioned before, I'm reading Bobby Rock's book, which again is great so far. And it's really got me in the mood to listen to that Vinnie Vincent Invasion stuff. You know, just hearing the stories, you know, behind the recording process of both albums, and, you know, stories behind little things that are on the album, you know, just all these little minutia details.
Right.
Really makes me want to listen to it. And then, excuse me, matter of fact, last night, I finally sat down and kind of just listened to snippets of that whole Vinnie Vincent box set, and just kind of previewing little things here and there, and pretty excited to get into that as well. Excuse me.
Definitely.
Okay.
All right. Well, we do, in addition to that, we do have both my dad's and Steve McGowan's full album list. So let's pop into that for just a minute here. Dad has noted here here it is, such as it is for today. I base this not completely on how well written or produced or technical stuff like that, but rather a lot of this is the result of thinking about how important the album was in my musical development and nostalgia, mostly emotion-based rather than technical or music-based.
Mm-hmm.
So his dead last, everybody's favorite album, Kiss Classics, the second disc of Sonic Boom. And his top 5, in order from 5th place to 1st, Rock and Roll Over, Double Platinum, Alive 2, Ace Frehley, and Love Gun.
Yeah, I mean, again, the Double Platinum, it's another one of those, like, you know, love it or hate it, but a lot of people, that was their introduction, come to find out. And,
right.
you know, it's definitely holds a special place in a lot of people's hearts. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, over to Steve here. His list in dead last place, can you guess? It's Kiss Classics. Yay, Kiss Classics. So his top 5, MTV Unplugged, Psycho Circus, Revenge, Creatures of the Night, and Destroyer.
You know, I'm glad it took almost the whole entire series, but finally, I think everyone across the board will agree on at least one thing, finally.
Kiss Classics sucks. Yes, very much so. So also, we're going to probably go a little further into this eventually, but a lot of you may have noticed right after we filmed last week's episode, we posted a ton of polls on our Facebook page trying to break up every single tie we had, down to the overall average ratings of the albums and every single song that was tied, and we got most of them.
Yeah.
Most of them had a fairly conclusive ending there, so I'm sure by the time you see us, the polls will have ended, but go ahead and jump over there and check those out anyway. It's kind of interesting to see which songs from what albums kind of got the popular vote. And frustratingly, which ones still ended in a freaking tie?
I know, right? Yeah, we really appreciate how fast you guys jumped on those, man, and gave your input. You know, some of you guys, you know, gave little explanations. You know, we were still sitting here on Skype as, you know, Luke was posting all those polls, so we were kind of seeing a lot of that. You know, a lot of the results coming in live as we sat here on Skype, and we're just like, wow, like, you know, it's already getting this much, and so very cool of you guys, man. But yeah, like he said, unfortunately, still got a couple ties still sitting there. I think we are going to go with the idea of maybe just kind of randomly asking some people while we're at the expo, and you know, seeing if we could finally get some ties broken that way as well. But again, feel free to go ahead and you know, keep, you know, getting some votes in and tell some other people you know, because I don't know how much longer you think we'll keep those up, or are they going to go down?
Yeah, they Facebook automatically only lets them up for a week.
Oh, okay. Well, never mind then. But again, we do appreciate it, people. We will get some results at the expo, and I don't know, maybe we can find a way for you guys to still sort of chime in, at least like in the comments here on YouTube or something, and maybe get a tie broke or something. Because some of you guys that comment, we're not sure if you're even on Facebook. If you are, let us know. We'd definitely love to find you on there. But so maybe some of you guys that aren't on Facebook, you can chime in on the comments here with some of those.
Yeah, definitely. It was definitely interesting, all of that.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. Well, I think that's all we've got from the outside world, so to speak. So, how about them albums, eh?
Yeah, let's knock that out first. So, I guess you want to just each go through our whole list first, or back and forth?
You know what? Let's go back and forth, just so I can record yours easily that way.
Okay. And again, we'll try not to sit here and take 4 hours
right.
discussing every album. You know, we'll just hit little bullet points and comments as we feel the need, I guess. But all right. So 34 albums, of course, for those who haven't, keeping record of it. Alright, so number 34. Let's say it together. Destroyer. No, just kidding.
Got me.
No, obviously, Kiss Classics, the re-record stuff. So glad that that's the last time I need to mention that in this whole series.
Good Lord. I actually have You One of the Best in dead last place. I
can see that.
Yeah, it's just so pointless. You know what I mean? Like, Kiss Classic sucks, but You One of the Best shouldn't have even existed.
True. You're right, because every time you mention that, then I think of Jay Leno's voice, and I'm like, oh, you're right. All right, number 33, You Wanted the Best.
And Kiss Classics for me.
Number 32, Symphony Alive 4.
Nice. Let me find mine.
Just real quick, I'll throw a little bullet point. When it comes to the Alive albums, obviously not my favorite. So, yes, it has some cool moments on it with the Great Expectations, things like that. But other than that, yeah, this is the one I go to the least. And again, I've said it 500 times, my least favorite lineup of Kiss as well.
Right. Yeah, I have to agree there. The bottom of my list is made up of the greatest hits and the Alive albums. Yeah. And not for any hatred, just I prefer albums of original material better. You know what I mean?
Right, absolutely.
My 32nd place, Double Platinum, as I mentioned several times in that podcast. Do not care for anything about that album either.
Okay. 31, Sonic Boom.
Live 4 for me for that.
Number 30, Crazy Nights.
Ooh, shots fired.
Pow.
Alive 2 for me.
Wow.
Sorry for everybody out there that put that up high. Again, it's just because live albums not really my thing.
29, where you at? Oh, duh. 29, Monster.
And Alive 1 for me on that.
Look out behind you.
Oh, jeez.
Number 28, Smashes, Thrashes, and Hits. I'll tell you what, since we've done that episode, I've gained a bigger respect for You Make Me Rock Hard. That's a much cooler song than I've given credit over the years.
Yeah, for sure. Same for me on that, actually. Smashes and Thrashes.
Cool. 27, Double Platinum.
Nice. Where'd it go? There it is. Alive 3 on there. Definitely my favorite of the Alives.
Absolutely. Number 26, Carnival of Souls.
MTV Unplugged for me again, and this is, if nothing else, is proof that I don't hate these albums that are at the bottom. Right. You'll remember how much I talked about how much I loved MTV Unplugged.
And I guess I want to throw this in since I forgot to say it when we started, but it's kind of along the lines of what your dad was saying. I was definitely had to look at this as literally my favorite albums, not just, okay, well, this one's really got a better songs than this one, but yet, I don't truly like it better. So I had to, again, kind of keep myself from thinking that way and truly stick to, the love and the memories and, that type of deal. So
I think we were talking about that at the last biogenesis practice. I don't remember. I think I said something to James along the lines of, I think the 70s material is better songs, but I like the 80s material better.
Right, absolutely.
If that makes sense. Just more my thing,
Yeah, because, the 80s stuff is definitely, more technical, as far, especially the musicianship, and not to take much away from the 70s stuff either, but...
Right.
Let's see, where are we at here? 25?
5, yeah.
25, Peter Criss.
That's not your number one?
Shh.
I'm going to have to redo my whole list.
See, I broke the rules. Cat 1 is my number one. So
yes.
it has to be.
There is no other way. I seem to have lost my 25. Here it is, Killers. For me, another one that, other than those 4 new tracks, just felt pretty unnecessary.
Number 24, Paul Stanley.
Nice. Monster for me. There, as I said in the last week's podcast, my by far least favorite of the studio albums.
Number 23, and I hate how much hate this gets all the time. I don't think it's such a bad album as much as people like to say. I feel like it's sort of the trendy thing to say about Kiss albums. Number 23 is Hot in the Shade.
Nice. I had my cursor hovering over Gene Simmons. I was sure. I've lost it. Oh, there we go. Peter Criss for me on 23.
Number 22, Killers.
And Gene Simmons for me there.
Let's see. Number 21, MTV Unplugged.
Sonic Boom for me.
Into the top 20. Number 20, Animalize.
Yeah. And not too long after that, Crazy Nights for me.
Number 19, Alive 3.
Hotter Than Hell. I'm sorry to say that is definitely a production-based rating.
True. Number 18, Alive 1.
Gotta say that was an exclamation point, man. Alive!
I have it written that way at least.
Yeah.
Alive.
Alive. Unmasked. For me.
Number 17, Music from the Elder.
Matching Dad there.
Mm.
Ace for me there.
Number 16, and you know what? Go ahead and copy and paste what I said about Hot in the Shade, Gene Simmons.
Nice. Paul Stanley for me on that.
Let's see, 15, Psycho Circus.
Hot in the Shade there. Mm.
Number 14, Unmasked.
Nice. Psycho Circus 14 for me.
Number 13, where are you? Number 13, Ace Frehley.
Nice. I got Dressed to Kill.
Wow. Okay. Number 12, Alive 2.
Rock and Roll Over.
Mm. Number 11, Asylum.
I have lost again. Oh, Dynasty.
Dynasty.
Yeah.
And to the top 10. And we have talked about this all through the series about what our top 10s may or may not be. So now we find out.
I'm not confident. Not confident in mine. This was hard.
Alright, number 10, Look It Up.
Indeed. Number 10 for me was Music from the Elder.
Nice. Number 9, Revenge.
Ooh. And I've got Destroyer.
Mm. Number 8, Dynasty.
I very grudgingly have got Love Gun here.
Mm.
Match Steve there.
Number 7, Hotter Than Hell.
I've got Kiss, the first album there.
Number 6, Dress to Kill.
Revenge.
And into the top 5, Rock and Roll Over.
Carnival of Souls for me.
Number 4, Kiss, self-titled.
Look it up. Or don't, I mean, if you want.
Yeah, you might want to look up that pop behind you there from last week.
Yeah, it's still there.
Into the top 3, number 3, Destroyer.
Animalize for me.
Number Deuce, Love Gun.
Indeed, I've got Asylum there.
And probably not surprisingly, number 1, Creatures of the Night.
Absolutely. After all this time, we match on that. I think it's no coincidence that that is the lineup our tribute portrays.
Yeah, and just it just never gets old, man. I could listen to that album on repeat every day.
Yeah,
And
not only a great album with great songs, you know, a great look, the production was new and different. It was a return to form. Yeah, it was just everything that they could have done maybe right after Dynasty, you know.
and going through that Vinny set the other night, you know, most of the stuff from Creatures, they just went ahead and threw the album versions on there. And I was just kind of listening to the snippets. Well, of course, with those songs, I found myself starting to just listen to the whole things because it's just a natural response. And
yeah.
Yeah, so obviously, once again, like we said from the very beginning, and with this list, you can see there's a lot of differences in Luke and I's lists, some similarities here and there as well. But, you know, again, that's what makes this fun. It's everyone's taste and, you know, what each album means to them, you know, what the songs mean to them, to us, you know, and just memories and moments that you picture as you listen to these songs or look at an album cover, and you just, you know, instantly picture yourself back in this certain place or something.
Right.
So,
and it's been especially interesting for me, and I'm sure for you too, to hear those opposing opinions. An album that, you know, let's just say you wanted the best, you got the best. If there's somebody out there that loves that album and would put it in their top 5, I want to know why.
Yeah.
I hate that album. I think it's completely pointless, but I wouldn't, you know, I would be genuinely interested in hearing why someone felt opposite. So, yeah, it's awesome to have all these differing opinions, not so that we can argue with each other, but curious about, you know, what makes that tick for you, you know?
And, you know, there was times that we were surprised. We went into certain episodes, like it just happened with Monster and Sonic Boom. We thought, oh, for sure it'll be, you know, Modern Day Delilah number 1, and Hell or Hallelujah is number 1 for everybody across the line.
Yep.
You know, the Peter Criss episode, I remember we thought, oh man, this is probably going to be the least watched episode. Nobody's going to want to participate. And guess what? We were completely wrong with that.
Yeah.
And so, again, that's what we love about doing this. We've learned things about people. We've discovered, you know, how much people love or hate certain things that we may feel the opposite about. And again, that's the whole beauty of the Kiss Army and being a fan, is just we all share that one common love, but we're all allowed to have different opinions and different views when it comes to the band, and that makes it okay. So
Right.
So let's get into the grand presentations here.
Indeed, very much so. So I figured we'd start off by going down the list of the albums with their overall average rankings. Well, more or less, we're going to read the game board, I guess you could say.
Yeah, so read along if you happen to keep a copy.
Indeed. So let's first off, let's go down the album placing. So according to our average overall ratings for each album, we did put the albums in order. I guess you could kind of say this is the official Kiss Meets the Podcast crew and fan base Kiss albums from best to worst. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
This is kind of our collective opinions all coming together here.
True.
And our tiebreakers that we posted on our Facebook did contribute to this. So, I don't know, should we start from the top or from the bottom?
I'd say the least to the best.
All right. So, no surprise here. In dead last place, 34th place, you wanted the best, you got the best with a 4.3 out of 10. 33rd place, Smashes, Thrashes, and Hits with a 4.4 out of 10. 32nd place, Kiss Classics, the second disc of Sonic Boom, with a 4.9 out of 10. Jumping up a little bit, 31st place, Hot in the Shade, with a 5.9 out of 10. The lowest rated studio album, interestingly. Right above that, in 30th place, is Gene Simmons' solo album with a 6 out of 10. Unfairly, right above that, 29th place, Music from the Elder, with a 6.3 out of 10. Somehow above that is Peter Criss' solo album in 28th place with a 6.7 out of 10. This was a tiebreaker here. In 27th place, Double Platinum, also with a 6.7 out of 10, but it did win the Facebook poll. Got another tie broken here in 26th place, Monster, with a 6.8 out of 10. In 25th place, Killers, also with a 6.8 out of 10, but beat it in Facebook poll. 24th place, Alive 4, Kiss Symphony, with a 7.2 out of 10. 23rd, Crazy Nights, 7.3 out of 10. In 22nd place, Asylum, also with a 7.3 out of 10. In 21st, Sonic Boom with a 7.4 out of 10. 20th place, Unmasked, also 7.4 out of 10. In 19th place, Alive 3 with a 7.5 out of 10. 18th place, Animalize, also 7.5 out of 10. We had a whole string of ties right in this area. 17th place, Paul Stanley solo album, 7.6 out of 10. 16th place, Psycho Circus, also with a 7.6 out of 10. 15th place, Revenge, 7.7 out of 10. 14th place, I'm genuinely surprised this got so far up the list, Carnival of Souls with a 7.8 out of 10.
Yeah, see, another surprise.
Yeah, I agree with it being up there. I just didn't expect everybody else to.
Right.
Yeah. 13th place, Dressed to Kill with a 7.9 out of 10.
Criminal.
Yes, for sure. And also a strange tie here, 12th place, Hotter Than Hell, also with a 7.9 out of 10. Hotter Than Hell did just barely beat Dressed to Kill on the Facebook polls. In 11th place, Lick It Up with an 8.1 out of 10. Here's our top 10 here. In 10th place, Destroyer with an 8.4 out of 10.
Wow.
Yeah, didn't expect Destroyer to be in 10th. I think overall this top 10 is good. It makes sense. But yeah, some of those placings you don't expect.
I mean, just looking at one album in particular that hasn't been named yet and knowing that it's ranked higher than Destroyer is blowing my mind right now.
In 9th place, Dynasty, 8.6
Wow.
out of 10. Yeah.
Even that.
Yep. Yeah, if it's the one I think you're thinking of, you're going to be surprised for a while.
I think it is the one you think I'm thinking of that you think I'm thinking.
Probably, I think. In 8th place, Alive 2, 8.7 out of 10.
Wow.
Yes. 7th place, Love Gun, 8.8 out of 10. Yes. 6th place, Ace Frehley, solo album, 8.9 out of 10. Are you still surprised?
Yes.
Yeah.
Very.
In 5th place, Kiss, the first album, 9.1 out of 10.
Oh my god.
Yeah. This was another tie we broke with Facebook. In 4th place, Rock and Roll Over, 9.1 out of 10. I think you can stop being surprised now. In 3rd place, MTV Unplugged with a 9.2 out of 10.
Wow. Did you guys follow along and catch that too? My God.
Yeah. Never. I'm not even sure I would have guessed that would end up in the top 10, let alone top 3. You know,
especially above all those ones you named in the top 10.
Yeah, Kiss, Love Gun, Dynasty Destroyer. Yeah, and then pretty much understandably in second place, Alive 1 with a 9.5 out of 10, and the closest us and our fans, all of you, could come to agreeing on the perfect Kiss album, Creatures of the Night, 9.8 out of 10.
Yes. You know, I'll tell you, man, like even in the like number 20 spot, like that rating was pretty impressive for even like the number 20. I mean,
yeah, we didn't have anything under 4 out of 10.
Yeah. You guys all knocked it out of the park with this. You know, I've said it again, and I'll say it again. Whether it's sappy, cheesy or not, I appreciate all the input and support and interactions and friendships that we've made because of this show. You guys are awesome, man. So, hey, we look forward to doing more and seeing what kind of craziness pops up. And again, we hope to meet some of you guys. So, whether it's at the expo or maybe at a Kiss show or something, we'd love to meet some of you.
Jumping into our actual game board, let's talk about our medals. So I'm sending over that PDF to you of the album placings.
Okay.
All right, so follow along if you will to see. We will be doing a full medal count for each person afterwards, but see if you can figure out who won before we get there. I think you could all probably make an accurate guess. So right off the bat, you'll notice if you take a look at the game board we've been using up to this point that we can eliminate 3 of the columns entirely. Unfortunately, Eric Carr, Bruce Kulick, and Tommy Thayer didn't get any medals at all. So I'm going to leave their names on there, but technically we don't need them. So for our first album, Kiss, our first, second, and third place here, or, well, I don't know whether we should go for that or not. Should we go down each person's medals or each album's medals?
Let's do each person.
All right. Well, let's start with the easy ones then. All right. So Eric Singer, let's start with Eric Singer. Did end up with 2 medals here. He did get 3rd place for Nothing to Lose on MTV Unplugged, and 2nd place for Black Diamond on Kiss Classics.
Awesome. Good job, Eric.
The crowd is like the gasoline for the engine.
Nice. Thank you for making part of Kiss Classics bearable. All right, we've also got Peter over here. He did get a 2nd place medal for Black Diamond on Kiss, the first album. Also, his solo album, of course, in order from 1st place to 3rd, I Can't Stop the Rain, That's the Kind of Sugar Papa Likes, and Hooked on Rock and Roll. He also got a 3rd place medal for Nothing to Lose on MTV Unplugged. He shares that medal with Eric Singer. He also got a 1st place medal for Black Diamond on Alive 4.
Nice. Peter.
I was kind of being held back in a sense as an artist of not having my fair share of abuse, I call it.
Aces medals, we've got a 1st place medal for Shock Me on Love Gun. No surprise there. Also, 1st place medal for Shock Me on Alive 2. His solo album, of course, in order from 1st to 3rd, Rip It Out, Speeding Back to My Baby, and Snowblind. He's got a 3rd place medal for Hard Times on Dynasty, a 2nd place medal for Dark Light on Music from the Elder, and that's it.
All right, Ace.
On the Traveler.
All right. Here's the big ones, the ones that we all knew were going to be head-to-head on who got 1st and who got 2nd. Gene Simmons medals, he's got 1st place for Deuce on the 1st album, 1st place for Watching You, and 2nd place for Parasite on Hotter Than Hell, 1st place for She on Dress to Kill, shared with Paul, 2nd place for Deuce, and 3rd place for Parasite on Alive, 3rd place Shout It Out Loud for Destroyer, shared with Paul again, 1st place Calling Dr. Love on Rock and Roll Over, Second place, God of Thunder on Alive 2. Third place, Calling Dr. Love on Double Platinum. His solo album in order from first to third, Radioactive, Mr. Make-Believe, and See You Tonight. Got a first place medal for Naked City on Unmasked. Third place, Under the Rose from Music from the Elder. Second place for War Machine, and third place for I Love It Loud on Creatures of the Night. Second place, Not for the Innocent on Lick It Up. First place for No No No, and second place for Thief in the Night from Crazy Nights. First place for Betrayed from Hot in the Shade. First place for Unholy, and third place for Domino on Revenge. First place for Unholy, and third place for Deuce on Alive 3. First place for Parasite on You Wanted the Best, You Got the Best. First place for Hate, Carnival of Souls. Second place for Within from Psycho Circus. Third place for Stand on Sonic Boom, shared with Paul. And that is all for Gene.
All right, Gene. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah! You know, it's still funny to hear Dress to Kill and no medal for Rock and Roll All Night. I mean, again, that just felt like a given.
Yeah, it really did. All right, and Paul. He's got third place for 100,000 Years on Kiss. Third place for Hotter Than Hell on Hotter Than Hell. First place for She, second place for Come On and Love Me, and third place for Rock Bottom on Dress to Kill. First place for 100,000 Years on Alive. First place, Detroit Rock City. Second place, King of the Nighttime World. And third place, Shout It Out Loud on Destroyer. Yeah. Second place, Take Me. And third place, I Want You on Rock and Roll Over. Second place, I Stole Your Love. And third place, Love Gun on Love Gun. Third place, Detroit Rock City on Alive 2. First place for Strutter 78. And second place for Detroit Rock City on Double Platinum. On his solo album, in order from first to third, Tonight You Belong to Me, Wouldn't You Like to Know Me, and Love in Chains. First place for Sure Know Something, and second place for Magic Touch on Dynasty. Second place, Shandy, and third place, Is That You on Unmasked. First place for The Oath on Music from the Elder. On Killers, in order from first to third, Nowhere to Run, I'm a Legend Tonight, Down on Your Knees. First place for Creatures of the Night on Creatures of the Night. First place for Exciter, and third place for Lick It Up on Lick It Up. On Animalized, in order from first to third, Heaven's on Fire, I've Had Enough, Into the Fire, and Thrills in the Night. On Asylum, in order from first to third, King of the Mountain, Tears Are Falling, and All Night. Third place for I'll Fight Hell to Hold You on Crazy Nights. Smashes, Thrashes, and Hits from first to third, Let's Put the X in Sex, You Make Me Rock Hard, and Heaven's on Fire. Second place for Hide Your Heart. Third place for Forever on Hot in the Shade. Second place for I Just Wanna on Revenge. Second place for Creatures of the Night on Alive 3. First place for Coming Home, and second place for I Still Love You on MTV Unplugged. Second place for I Stole Your Love, and third place for Firehouse on You Wanted the Best, You Got the Best. Second place for Master and Slave, and third place for Rain on Carnival of Souls. First place for Psycho Circus, and third place for Raise Your Glasses on Psycho Circus. Second place for Sure Know Something, and third place for I Was Made for Loving You on Alive 4. First place for Say Yeah, second place Modern Day Delilah, and third place for Stand on Sonic Boom. First place for Love Gun, and third place for I Was Made for Loving You on Kiss Classics. And in order from first to third on Monster, Heller Hallelujah, Freak, and Long Way Down. So can you guess who won?
Paul Stanley. All right. No contest there.
Yeah, not even close.
I'm gonna just, like, for the sake of what if had Ace had more songs on albums, let alone not waiting until Love Gun to sing,
right?
I think he might have very well been in second place.
I could definitely see that.
Oh yeah, I think he would have definitely gave Gene a bigger run for his money.
Yeah. Yep. Alrighty, so I did put together some extra awards, both for members of KISS and for us, actually.
Uh-oh.
I was trying to work out a way to include everybody that voted in some of these awards, but because very few people actually voted on every single album, I just used myself and you and my dad and Steve, kind of the core of everybody. I'm not sure if Jay voted on every album. If Jay Rucker didn't vote on every album, it was close.
Yeah.
So I might have to go back and look through on that again. But, of course, the question we're all wondering, who has the most first-place medals?
Oh.
Is, of course, Paul Stanley with 18.
Mm-hmm.
Second place there is Gene with 13. Third place is Ace with 3. And fourth place, Peter with 2. The KISS member with the most second-place medals, Paul Stanley, with 21 medals. So interesting that he has more second-place than first-place medals. There we had Gene with 8 second-place medals, and then Peter and Ace both had 2 second-place medals.
Only Paul could outdo himself.
Exactly, yes. And then the KISS member with the most third-place medals. It's Paul.
Stanley Eisen.
Yes, again, Paul with 23. So, yeah, 18 first place, 21 second place, 23 third place. Interesting trend there. Again, Gene had 8 third place medals. Peter and Ace both had 2 apiece. So, no contest there, even close. Paul beat them all out of the park. Of course, then Paul had by far the most medals out of everybody. So, yeah, Paul, without a doubt. So, also, interestingly, I decided to check out which songs got medals most often. Because I noticed there were several, and there wasn't even a clear winner.
Huh.
So, there was a 4-way tie with 3 medals apiece. The song Deuce, which got first place on KISS, second place on Alive, and third place on Alive 3. The song Parasite, which got second place on Hotter Than Hell, third place on Alive, and first place on You Wanted the Best, You Got the Best. Detroit Rock City, which got first place on Destroyer, third place on Alive 2, and second place on Double Platinum. And Black Diamond, which got second place on KISS, first place on Alive 4, and second place on KISS Classics.
Wow.
So, also, strangely, and I didn't think, if you think how many times did we give the same song more than one medal, you wouldn't think there'd be that many. But all of the following songs got 2 medals. 100,000 Years, Shock Me, Calling Dr. Love, Heaven's on Fire, Creatures of the Night, Unholy, I Stole Your Love, Sure Know Something, I Was Made for Loving You, and Love Gun. All got medals more than once. Yeah, so, oh man, this was the one that took the most time. I decided to see kind of our trends as voters, how we worked, and this first award is for the voter who correctly predicted top 3 songs most often. So this was only if you, in your list, a song was number 1, and then that song got number 1, if that makes sense. Right. And only for the top 3 songs. So again, I was looking at myself and you and Steve and Dad, and completely surprisingly, first place for that, myself. Huh. I correctly predicted top 3 30 times.
Well, now a few people want to know if the show's rigged.
Makes you wonder. Well, very, very closely, second place was Steve, who correctly predicted the top 3 29 times. So, neck and neck there. And then, even stranger, you and Dad tied third place for correctly predicting top 3 21 times.
God.
Yeah, so of course, if we know who correctly predicted top 3, then which one of us most often voted opposite from everyone else? And of course, in first place, my dad. Yeah. And in second place, myself. So, and Dad saw that when I was doing that, and at first he was a bit like, "Aw," and then he sort of made sense out of it. He's like, "Well, I guess the oldest one and the youngest one, it kind of makes sense that our vote would be a little bit opposite the general."
Absolutely.
Yes. And then, opposite that, the voter whose rankings most often closely matched the final results. So, by far and away, Steve.
Wow.
Yeah, Steve almost always had correct you know, he put a song in 7th place and it got 7th place, or he would put it in 6th place and the song would be 7th place, and then it would go down the whole. So our album lists were very close to Steve's votes almost every time.
Wow, I mean, for as wrong as he was, the majority of the time, wow.
Yeah. Yeah, so you got 2nd place there on that as well. I did sort of a point system on that, and it took forever. I took the final results from each album and then our 4 lists and made... I subtracted the difference between the final result and each one of our votes for each one of us and gave us all point systems. So, like golf, the lowest points were the best.
True. Can I take a mulligan?
Yeah. Yes. I don't remember now exactly what the voting numbers were, but I think you were something like within 100 points of Steve, but then both Dad and I were like, wait. Yeah, here it is. So Steve had 465. Oh, geez. Yeah, I was way off there. 465 points. You had 475 points, so you were really close. But then I had 556, and Dad had 698. So that was meant to see how closely we predicted. As far as each one of our album preferences, my lowest voted album was You Wanted the Best, You Got the Best with a 2 out of 10. Whereas my highest album, Creatures of the Night, Destroyer, and Love Gun, all with 10 out of 10. Your lowest was Kiss Classics with a 3 out of 10. And your highest was Alive and Creatures of the Night with 10 out of 10, both. Dad's lowest was Hot in the Shade with a 2 out of 10. And the highest votes from him, Love Gun and Ace's solo album, both with 10 out of 10. The lowest voted album from Steve was Asylum with a 2 out of 10. And
See?
Yeah, I know. Get ready for this list of a cajillion albums that he rated 10 out of 10. It's Alive, Destroyer, Ace, Paul, Creatures of the Night, MTV Unplugged, and Carnival of Souls. All at 10s from Steve. So as you can see, Steve is a very happy guy when it comes to Kiss albums. And of course, that's pretty much all for the awards, but I did go ahead and make up a list of everybody who commented on our videos. I was going to make a separate list of people who voted, but they're pretty much the same list. So massive thanks to all of the people that did that. This is in not any specific order. I just went from video to video. So we've got Jay Rucker, of course, who I think by far wins the award for number of comments. We had probably 4 to 5 comments from Jay on every video, so thank you, Jay.
Yes, thank you very much. Man, you got to come on the show.
Yes.
Got to come on.
Absolutely. Close to him, though, was Robbie. Of course, good old Rabble. Again, at least 2 to 3 comments on every video, so big thanks to Robbie there. We've got, I'm going to run down this list of here. We've got Rain in Adamstown, who voted on quite a few, almost all of them. Chuck Hoskins, Dan Taft, Gigi Aaron, Richard Bogart Burke, Jacob Hicks, Michael Groves, Javier Boster, Marty White, who was a bit of a troll, if you remember. Louis Ferrer III, which of course you guys remember he was on several episodes with us, as was Javier was on an episode. Chuck McFarland, Gene Simmons apparently, Daunt205, RJ Jordan, again a guy that was on several of the episodes, David Smith, Just Add Vinyl, Guitar Man, everybody remember? Yes. We haven't seen you, Guitar Man, where are you?
Right.
You were commenting there for a while, where'd you go? 80s Rock and Metal, RFS Family Sports, My Vinyl Bar, JT Bosch, Brock McDowell, TL Carpenter 3, Casey Lee Michaels, Vinyl City, Chief Broken Arrow, Gianni Ottaviani, which again, I know you already said I was saying your name right, but I worry every time I say it. William Curry, Scott Waters, Drew Fan 22, who we're still pretty sure is Gino from Sweet Pain, John Cogburn, Mick C, and Brad Holderman. So, again, apologies if you did comment and I missed your name on there. I tried to get everybody. I think I got everybody there. But, again, a huge thanks to all of you, because we weren't sure what kind of reaction we were going to get to any of this. So.
Absolutely, man. This show wouldn't mean a thing without all you guys.
Yes.
If it was just us sitting here talking to each other on Skype and just basing the whole show off of our, votes alone, it wouldn't mean jack. So
Right.
You guys make the show what it is, and again, we appreciate the friendships that we've built through the show and everything. And we definitely hope you guys will stick around and chime in with all these upcoming episodes. And I think it's going to be kind of a even more fun adventure with this next round of stuff coming up. So
yeah, we're going into unknown territory for me at least.
Back when you were talking about the songs that got the most, I thought for sure Heaven's on Fire would be in there.
I think it got 2 votes.
Okay, I knew it had at least 2, but I wasn't sure if it had gotten a third somewhere along the way. But
Nope, it looks like got first place on Animalize and third place on Smashes, Thrashes, and Hits.
Okay, that's what it is. If it wasn't so horrible on Kiss Classics, maybe it could have got one of those.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was my low vote on that.
Oh, absolutely.
That was, yeah.
So, wow, are we done?
Yeah, that's all I got.
Okay. Well, so that officially wraps up the first part of 4K with the whole Kiss discography. We hope you guys enjoyed this little wrap-up episode, and again, more to come. So, again, as you watch this, we will be on our way or at the Kiss Expo. So expect an update video. Maybe, who knows, maybe we'll pop in on Facebook throughout the weekend and post a few videos, or who knows what. But definitely we will be doing a wrap-up episode next week. So expect that to come first, and then we'll start getting into the next leg of all this crazy stuff that we're getting into. So
Yeah.
Real quick, I don't know if we could think of the list off the top of our head, but definitely wanted to give a special shout out to those that came on the show with us. I know we've kind of mentioned a few here and there. So we got your dad, Dan Neely, joined us on some episodes. Steve McGowan, of course, was a frequent visitor. R.J. Jordan, Louis Ferrer, Javier.
Yeah, Javier.
Which definitely want to get Javier back on because the way that show went with the audio. Yeah, Gino from Sweet Pain. Who else? Am I forgetting anybody? I think that, well, hey, also we got to give a special shout out to Sam for all of his frequent bathroom appearances that he used to make.
Yes, indeed. Yes.
But I greatly apologize if I'm forgetting anybody right now, but I think we covered everyone that has been on these 4K episodes with us. And so definitely want to have those guys back on at some point, and would love to see some new faces pop on as well that would like to come on with us and chat. So,
yeah. Again,
for anyone that may be fairly new to this, the invitation is open to anybody. We're not picky. As long as you want to get on here and talk Kiss, or in this case, whatever the albums that we're covering for this next leg. But of course, it's always going to tie into Kiss, so we'll be more than happy to chat it up with you. So just drop us a line on these comments, or send us a private message on YouTube, or you know how to get a hold of us, Facebook, whatever you got to do. Alright, so I guess we're going to wrap it up then, and get out of here and get ready for the Kiss Expo. I know I'm pretty excited about it.
Oh yeah.
One of the best times of the year for me, so it's next best thing to Christmas. So, looking forward to that. Alright, so we will see you guys next week for the Expo wrap-up show, and maybe a special guest will be on with us for that episode too. So, please stay tuned to that, and we'll see you guys over the weekend. Alright, take care.